Oh, pretzels, here I am. Hello, everyone. And, good time zone. And what is up, gamers? Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Happy Monday. Hope you're having the loveliest of lovely days, as they say. And I wish that... Okay. My chair was not gliding across the studio carpet as effectively as I'd hoped it would, because there's a whole lot of cables and stuff on the floor here, and I was trying very hard not to run them over. But anyways, hello friends. Welcome in. Happy Monday and happy International Non-Binary Day, which kicks off Non-Binary Awareness Week for all my non-beanie pals and the people who love them, which should be everybody. Anyway, hello. And welcome in. Joe has melon. Congratulations, Joe, and welcome in. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Mistakes were made. In as much as, I was like, it's quite cool and breezy here in the studio, actually. I think I can get away with drinking hot tea instead of cold tea. So I made myself 2 cups of hot tea instead of iced tea. And now, oh my god, I'm so sweaty. Why did I do that to us? Why did I do that to myself? I don't know. Anyways, also, hello, Luna. Welcome in, and happy non-beanie day to you, too. Welcome. I did not have time to plan a specifically non-beanie painting, but I don't know. Every painting I do is non-beanie because so good enough. I might get something out there by the end of the week. I'd love to. Though I did do that piece for Pride Month, which was very, very fun. Which was the gender, I hardly know her, which is the stupidest joke, and it's my favorite joke, and I love it a lot. So this landscape is looking pretty nothing at the moment. So I wanted to endeavor to add some, content to it rather than just some extremely barren hills. So I thought I might try and introduce like some trees perchance, or something like with some other gubbins, and make it look a little bit more interesting. Fully improvising this because I have not thought through what I want to add to the piece, but I think sometimes that's fun. So we're gonna add some happy little trees, some happy little plants, and maybe a happy little cottage, that kind of thing. I think that'll be nice. Also, first of all, news. Very exciting news. Extremely exciting news, even. And that news is, I haven't tasted it yet, so I might be wrong. Today's tea is an incredibly vibrant shade of pink. It's even pinker in real life than it looks on camera. And this is important to note because yesterday I was in the center of town with some visitors, some friends of ours from abroad who were visiting the city for the day. And there was an 8-minute wait for the bus at the bus stop, and it was like the hottest part of the day, and the sun was absolutely blaring. I was 5,000% done by then, and I just wanted to be like in the shade or something. And the bus stop happened to be like about 15 feet away from a tea shop, and I happened to notice a very distinctively pink window display in the window of the tea shop on the bus ride in, and I was like, babe, I said to my moderator / spouse as we were waiting for the bus together, I said, babe, we have 8 minutes for the bus. Is this enough time for me to go into the tea shop? And he was like, yep. Just get in, get out, be decisive, no chit chat, you can do this. And so I did. And here's what I bought. Look at it. It's so cute. It's so cute. I also got a rainbow spoon, which I'm very excited about. I can tell you right now, the tea smells very good. It has a very pie smell. And look, she's so cute. I'm gonna cry. This is so goofy. And I love it so much. And I'm so happy. I'm gonna reuse this tin. Can we see the raw tea, please? Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. It looks, pardon the rustling sound. The spoon's in the kitchen, so you'll have to give me a minute, but here's the tea, and I'll let you look at that for a minute while I enjoy the tea smells, and I'll grab the spoon. One moment. Not sponsored! Very not sponsored! Once again, hashtag not spawn. This stream is not sponsored. Sorry for the rustling bag sounds. But this is the spoon. And I love it a lot. I've always wanted a spoon that's one of these like rainbowy looking ones because I think they're so neat. It's just oh, the couleurs. So pretty. Oh. Hey Pickles, welcome in. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Pickles says, please sponsor Sammy Nondescript tea brand. Not sponsored, but should be, to be honest, says Luna. Aw, thank you. I have a rainbowy tea strainer cup thing. Ooh, nice! And 2 normal teaspoons. Rad. I have a regular tea strainer. And now I have a rainbow spoon. So, hell yeah. I am quietly thrilled about that. Which is very silly, but, you know, if you can't find joy in, like, stupid little things like tea that smells like apple pie and, hold up, is delicious. It's got a nice softly apple cinnamoniness to it, but there's a somethingness that has that sort of like sweet pastry flavor as well. Because I was just expecting it to taste of apple cinnamon, but there's definitely a flavor that makes it specifically pie adjacent, which is an impressive feat considering it's a liquid. So good job, tea company. Anyways, sadly it has paprika, and so I'd not be able to drink. Ah, geez, do they do that to give it the color, do you think? I bet it is. I bet it is. Yeah, E61C paprika. Shoot. I wonder if that's in the sprinkles. Maybe you could just take out the sprinkles. Anyways, have to BRB for a meeting. Have a lovely BRB! Thank you. Anything with oh man, I love turmeric. I love turmeric so much. I'm so sorry. Luna says it's too warm for tea and I don't have the patience to wait for cold tea, so I'm gonna have some pineapple juice. Ooh, pineapple juice is delightful. I do love basically anything pineapple. That's a good situation. Huh, okay. Maybe I should like vaguely plan out what I want to do with this. Is there raisins in it? Does that give it a kind of pie vibe? I'm just gonna read the ingredients listed. This is a thrilling stream. I'm gonna read the ingredients list to you. Apple pieces, 28%, cinnamon, 30%, rosehip beetroot sprinkles, which contain in brackets sugar, potato starch, maltodextrin, vegetable fat, colors, anthocyanins, paprika, beetroot red, glazing agent, carnauba wax, end brackets, orange peel, corn flours, and natural flavoring. And that's it. I have had teas blends that have raisins in them before, and yeah, it does something. Though I also really like just like a regular black tea that has like a raisiny flavor to it. I don't know how else to describe it, but certain teas just have a note that puts me in mind of raisin. There's like an association there. Even though it doesn't taste like raisins, it tastes raisin-y to my brain. I don't know. Cinnamon definitely feels like pie spices for sure. But there's something else about it. Also, I think what's going on with I think the, like, color of the tea, I think is mostly coming from the beetroot, if I had to guess. I think the colorants are just in the little, like, pink sprinkles. So if you're sensitive to, certain colorants, like the, what was it? The paprika. You could probably, unless it's like may contain traces of like anaphylaxis level, you could probably just take out the sprinkles and drink the rest of the tea. But I'd contact the tea company and be like, hey, will I die if I consume this? I'm still in awe of their cake teas. They really do taste like cake. It really is impressive, Luna. But once again, this stream is not sponsored. I just really like them. I don't want anyone to start thinking this is a sponsored segment, so being very transparent about that. But that being said, I like months and months ago, I commented on a YouTube video that was from America's Test Kitchen where they were comparing metal pans versus like the heat-proof glass pans for baking like brownies and cakes and stuff, and which one is better. And almost invariably they were like, the metal pan is so much better than the glass pan. The glass pan is bad. Don't use glass pans to bake brownies. I've always baked my brownies in a glass pan, and you know what? They are just fine. In fact, they are superb. And and they were being so like this, the difference between the two honestly is so minute that like you're not going to notice a difference, right? But they were so playing up the differences between the two cakes, even though like nominally there's basically none. To the extent that they're like, oh, it's just wasn't as good in the glass pan, and you could really tell. And I'm like, no, you can't. Anyways, so I made a comment being like, thank you so much for your insightful observations, but I have to say, every time you said something mean about the glass pans, I just felt bad for them. And I mean, like, I get it. There are certain things that I would not want to cook in a metal pan. Like, if I'm making stuffed peppers, I'm gonna do it in the Pyrex, right? But and then I was at the end I was just like, don't worry, little Pyrex, I'm still gonna bake my brownie recipe in yours, and I wouldn't tell people not to. And someone today, even though this was months ago, replied to my comment on this YouTube video and was like, sponsored post question mark, and I'm like, do you mean them or me? Because they famously don't do sponsorships because they want to give unbiased product reviews. But also, I would love if Pyrex wanted to give me money to, like, shill for their glass cookware, because I genuinely think it's fine. So, you know, sure, but okay. Anyways, I was very confused. In other news, my face hurts really bad. It has done for a few days now. I think the heat has been giving me, like, the TMJ tension at night, because my tooth is hurting really bad, which makes me think that I'm, like, clenching my jaw and, like, putting too much pressure on this one tooth specifically that has, like, a big filling in it, so it's a little bit weaker than the others, and it tends to, if any of my teeth are gonna have, like, sensitivity pain, it's gonna be that bad boy. Just also generally, like, I can feel it in, like, my sinuses and my jaw, and they're just, like, my whole face is uncomfortable now, which just sucks. But also, if I really want my tooth to feel better, because I do not want to go to the dentist. I don't know about y'all, but I hate the dentist. I never used to hate the dentist. It's really only since I moved, like, to this country. And I don't know if it's just, like, the dentist practice that I go to specifically, but every time I go to the dentist, even if it's just, I used to go for regular checkups, and I stopped, around the panini, because back in 2020, in, like, June of 2020, I was getting text messages from my, like, you know, the dental practice that I used to go to, being like, hey, you haven't been to the dentist in 6 months, it's almost time for your checkup, you should book an appointment. And I'm like, I don't really want strangers touching my mouth when there's a highly communicable disease, or virus rather, going around that I'd really rather not get from, you know, strangers putting their hands in my mouth. So, no thank you. But prior to that, there was this one dentist that I had who was really, really good, was really nice, and was really complimentary to the state of my teeth, which was delightful, thank you. And then they left this practice, and since then I just had sort of a series of other dentists, and every single dentist would try and upsell me on something different. And I understand the importance of, like, oral health is huge. You know, it's like, it is huge and super important to look after your teeth and your mouth and stuff for, like, the rest of your body. But on the other hand, God, could they stop trying to upsell me things? You know? Just identify what I actually need, not like the would like tos. Because there's something that also feels incredibly guilt-inducing when you're sitting there in the in the dentist's office, rather, and they're like, okay, I've identified that you need this thing. It costs 250 pounds. Did you want to go ahead and do that? And you're like, that's not an amount of money I was expecting to spend right now. And you make dentist money, so I can't begin to express to you the shame that I feel in having to say I cannot afford to spend 250 pounds on a thing I hadn't planned for out of pocket right now, if it's not an actual emergency. So, no. And then they're like, oh, your life is gonna be ruined and you're gonna die if you don't do this. And it's like, no, I can't. Like, it feels real bad. And they always make me feel guilty. Even though, like, I do all the correct tooth things. And in fact, I stopped going to the dentist for years just because I didn't need to. And at that point, I was off of my parents' insurance, and I didn't have insurance for it through work. So I was just going to have to pay more back in Canada. And so I stopped going to the dentist. And the first time I went to the dentist, it was because I needed a filling done. But the dentist was like, your teeth are perfect. When's the last time you went to the dentist? And I was like, I don't know, 6 years ago. And he was like, well, the hell, you're fine. But, yeah, I absolutely think that taking care of your teeth is super, super important. But on the other hand, could they not be scary? That would be great. You know, it's kind of, I've developed like a fear of my own teeth, I think, because the dentist is scary and mean. Anyways. Luna says, I've gone through a whole treatment plan in the last 8 or so months, and I'm still super nervous of the dentist, even though my current dentist is so nice. I'm so, so glad you have a nice dentist. That is so good and so important. I think everyone deserves a nice dentist. I have a checkup on Wednesday, and I'm still nervous. It'll be fine. You're going to be so fine. It feels like a unique anxiety. It is absolutely not a unique anxiety of yours. Lots of people have masses of the anxiety about the dentist. I think it's a fairly common thing to be like afraid of or anxious about, and to feel nervous going to the dentist. I know I do sometimes. But yeah, I'm glad that it's going well, and I'm glad that your dentist is nice. Luna says, it's so expensive too. I have a monthly plan that essentially pays for itself, but having to have specific treatments is horrible. Yep, exactly. Going in like for a checkup is not that bad. It's fine. Like I expected to, when I went to the dentist regularly, I expected to have that in my budget. But it's just when they're like, surprise, you thought your teeth felt fine? Well, congratulations. This one's broken and we have to do something that costs £500 to it. And if you ask to not do that, we're gonna look at you like you're the worst person in the world. And then we're gonna make you feel real guilty about it. I don't like that feeling. I don't think that's, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I would appreciate if there was maybe a little bit of, I don't know, empathy towards the fact that not everyone has as much money as you, you know? Like, and I'm a professional with a reasonably good job. And I can't just afford to plunk down a couple £100 not knowing that that's something that I had to do that day. You know what I mean? Like, no. Luna says, I mean, like, it feels weird because doctors/hospitals both totally fine, but dentists are really anxiety-inducing. I wholeheartly agree. I have basically no anxiety about going to the doctor. I try not to go to the doctor because I don't enjoy it. But I also, I try not to get sick. But yeah, going to the doctor's fine. Going to the hospital's fine. Like if I need an x-ray or whatever, like, yeah, that's cool. Oh man, last time I went to get an x-ray, I had so much fun. The x-ray tech was a really cool guy, and he saw that I had a camera with me, and he asked me all about my camera, and he was like, and because x-rays and, there's similar DNA there, he's like, do you want to come have a look at what the inside of your chest looks like? And I was like, yes. And he showed me the inside of my chest, and I was like, oh man, that's real cool. Get a load of those ribs. And he's like, yeah, they look great.
Attention.
Twitch user Sammy Kelch.
Shoppers.
Hello, Raiders. Welcome in, Sammy Ann. It's lovely to see you all, and welcome. Thank you so much for the raid. Let me get a shout out for Sammy Ann in the chat. It's wonderful to see you. Hello. How was your stream? What did you get up to today? Hello. I'm going to take a little sip of my tea, because I've been talking at length for several minutes. But, hi. Welcome in. If you're not familiar with Sammy Ann, you should rectify that. You can do that right here. I'm putting a shout out into the chat. And hello. Yay, it worked. And for anyone who's just come in on the raid, hello. My name's Twitch user Sammy Kelch. I'm a variety streamer. I do cozy art streams on Mondays and Thursdays. Most Thursdays. I do cozy game streams on Fridays. And sometimes on Thursdays if I'm feeling extra crispy. There will be one upcoming because apparently an update is forthcoming for Fields of Mystria, which I have very much been enjoying. Today we're doing a little watercolor landscapey doodad with some weird paints that I mixed up last week that look like that. So it's a fun palette, and I'm hoping to produce something pretty with it. Anyways, Sammy Ann says, hello! Hello. We were working on some more video game cards for part 2 of the commissions. Hell yeah, that sounds delightful. As always, if there's anything that you would like to share, whether it's on your socials or it's a work in progress that you are working on today, feel free to whisper a link in my direction. I'd be very, very, very happy to share it with the class. Hell yeah. Anyways, in case anyone's wondering what my art looks like when it's completed, I can show you that, hopefully, if the thingy works correctly, and I'm hoping that it will, because last time it didn't. Please work, please. Hello? Oh man, why is it not, why is it stopped working for me? I don't know, but it's decided to just, like, stop working for me. There we go, okay. Fixed it, kind of. Anyways, here's what my art looks like. It's an International Non-Binary Day, so I want you to look at this, because it's relevant, and this is an example of what my art looks like. Lately, it's been a weird amount of Star Trek, because that's where my brain is. But anyways, but more importantly, happy International Non-Binary Day to any non-beanie friends, and to the people who love the non-beanie friends. All of the, yes, good. Anyways, so that's that. And thank you for looking at that. Okay, hello. Also, I'm so, like, I thought I was gonna be okay with hot tea, because it's quite breezy in the studio, but no, the hot tea is making me so sweaty. Let me see what I can share, says Sammy, and I would love that. Oh, Luna says Sammy's art is so delightful. No, you're delightful. Thank you very much for saying so, though. I'm excited to get stuck into these. This is my sad palette. It's just inside of an old cream cheese container. I did a terrible job of mixing these up last time, but hopefully we'll be able to get some happy little trees and like a happy little cottage and maybe some little flowers out of it, and it'll be nice. I don't know. We shall see. Also, if I get quiet at some point, it's because I talked too much and my face hurts. So I don't know, jot that down, I guess. Anyways, hi everyone. Anyways, before Sammy Ann and the Raiders came in, I was talking about the fact that the last time I had to get an x-ray done, the x-ray tech let me see the inside of my chest, and it was really cool. How about for you? Oh, the evolutions! Yes, I would love to see the evolutions. We would love to share that. We know and understand several Pokemon on this stream. That would be nice. Thank you. Anyways. But how is everyone? How are your Mondays? How were your weekends? I hope that you've been staying comfortable, staying cool, having a nice time, all that jazz. I got to visit some museum on Sunday. Was kind of hoping that the museum would be a little bit cooler than the outside world, which was ever so hot and sweaty, which was not my idea of a good time. But, you know, it was fine. It was fine in the long run. And, yes. Anywho, what was I saying? I don't remember. Oh, yeah. Went to the museum. Wasn't as comfortably, air-conditioned. It was air-conditioned, but it was still quite muggy. So... bleh. It was hot here now, so we were trying our best not to melt, says Sammy Ann. Oh goodness, please try not to melt. Please try not to melt. It would be nice if you didn't melt. Make sure that you stay hydrated, drink plenty of fluids and all that. I'm gonna have to manually set this up again because it seems like it just wants to be broken now. I think I might need to change I think Instagram changed their settings because that's what I had it set to, is like the default page it opens. Mostly so that my look at things on the internet screen doesn't accidentally go to my like stream manager page, and you get that thing where you're looking at the stream manager site on Twitch while you're streaming, and you get just like infinite stream windows going all the way down, and it's too much. Anyways, that's Esri again. We love her. And I thought that what is my mouse doing? My mouse is doing something weird, but anyways, it's lovely, Espeon. I love this one with the flowers. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. What an absolute friend. And then we've also got Jolteon looking very, very, like, very kiki, but also very fluffy at the same time. Like, I feel like they'd be very cuddly, even though they're very spiky. I don't know if, would you get electrocuted if you gave Jolteon a snuggle? I would hope not, because they're very cute. And yeah, I love the, like, the way you've done the colors on the sky in the background is absolutely gorgeous. And the flowers, of course, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then, oh, get a load of this absolute friend. This is gorgeous. This is absolutely beautiful. I think we saw a work in progress of this Umbreon previously. And it's turned out so well. I love the, like, fungal mushroom theming you've got going on here. It's very nice. Very, very, very nice indeed. And then, oh, hello. These are all so cute. This is adorable. I love them so much. Sammy, and your art, as always, is a whimsical delight and so, so cute and so, so pretty. And I thank you so, so much for sharing them. This is absolutely adorable. And I love it. So thank you. Where's my camera? There's my camera. Let me get another shout out for you in the chat. And just a reiteration that if you're not following Sammy Ann and you want to, you can do that right there. And I wholeheartedly recommend that you do. Anywho, and thank you again for the raid. I do appreciate it. It is wonderful to see you as always. There we go. Okay. Anyways. Ooh, Luna says, we drove back from Wales on Saturday. It was a very hot car journey. Oh, beans. It's cooler here today, at least. I'm glad to hear it. Sammy says, I adore your Esri, by the way. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. A big fan of the moons, says Luna. And moons do feature heavily in Sammy Ann's art, and lots of dragons, which we love to see. I love your dragons so very much. They're absolutely delightful. I'm going to take a sip of my tea, which, for anyone who missed the pink tea that I'm drinking today, I bought it yesterday. And it's a very silly kind of exciting to me. Again, not sponsored, but this is hecking adorable. She's drinking a little cup of tea. It's so cute. Anyways, so yeah, that's what's bringing me joy today. It is Hello Kitty's pink apple pie tea, and it genuinely is really tasty. Very, very tasty. It has like a somewhat of a pie vibe. It's very fruity and a little spicy with apple and cinnamon vibes to it, and a little bit of sort of a pastry undercurrent to the flavor. So yeah, I dig it. It's nice. It's good. Anyways, I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I got up to this weekend? And the answer is a resounding, I don't remember. I wonder what it would paint like, says Sammy Ann. There's beetroot in it, so probably very pink. I was thinking about beetroot recently. Because not this past weekend just now, but previous past weekend. I had the pleasure of visiting one of my very favorite cafes, which is a Scandinavian cafe, and they do wonderful salads as a lunch option. You can just get like a plate of salads, and I got a plate of salads, and one of the salads they do is this like beetroot and apple salad, and it's so nice. It's so nice that I'm like, I gotta make this. It's so good. So I'm gonna need to get like a jar of beetroots, and I'm gonna need to get like a jar of beetroots, and I don't normally have mayo in the house, but it does have mayo in the dressing. And I like the salad so much that I feel like if I tried to swap out the mayo for like just more creme fraiche or something, it's not gonna be the same. So I think I'm gonna need to buy, it's like a tablespoon of mayo, but still I think I'm gonna need to buy mayo. So, oh no. How long, side note, chat, does anyone know how long can mayo survive in the fridge once it's been opened? Asking for me, because generally you can't buy mayo in like tablespoon increments. So help. Beetroot, says Sammy Ann. I do love a beetroot situation. I love a beetroot salad. I love just like pickled beets. I love there's a terrible drawing time and I missed it. Thank you, Pickles. I shall attend to that momentarily. Trying to think of other things with beets in them that I like. I like chocolate beetroot cake. I love like borscht. It's if it's beet, it's good. Anyways, I've had it in there for weeks. We are still alive. That Sammy Ann, that is a fantastic vote of confidence. Thank you. That's honestly what I wanted to know is if it sits in the fridge for many weeks, will I stay alive? Where was the terrible drawing? Because I don't. Oh God, it's way back in chat. Sammy, the moderator slash Pickles. I hate this. I have never hated anything more. And I'm not sure how my moderator slash spouse will feel about it. So here's the situation for anyone who's new. It's not called Wonderful Drawing Time. This is true. Why? 5,000 channel points is not enough for you to get feet. Just FYI, this isn't OnlyFans. And I do not have one. Anyways. They say 2 months on the internet, says Sammy Ann. Okay, I think I can handle. I'm not going to ask how long tahini can stay in the fridge before you use it, because I do not know when I opened that jar of tahini that I did use on the weekend to make hummus. That being said, my hummus was delicious. Oh my god. If you have good chickpeas, homemade hummus is so much nicer in texture than the stuff you can get from the supermarché. At least my supermarché. Anyways, oh yeah. Terrible drawing time. Is this phenomenon that happens on stream because I hate myself, whereby for 5,000 channel points, I've got 5 minutes or less to draw a character or concept of your choosing from memory or sight unseen on the terrible drawing canvas. I think this might be the last thing that we draw on this, and that's probably for the best because I don't want to ever have to look at it again. I accept no responsibility for any psychic damage that may that may arise as a result of your terrible drawing. But that being said, it seems like the psychic damage tends to be inflicted upon me by the requesters. So, tahini. Oh man, I have a story about shelf life and the fact that I didn't refrigerate. Sammy Ann, are you okay? Are you? Should I be concerned? Anyways, I mean, there are certain things where people question whether or not do I store this in the fridge. Like, for instance, almond butter. I've got almond butter in the house, and I don't keep that in the fridge because it's the kind of, there's no emulsifiers in it. So the oil from the almonds, rises to the top of the almond butter, so you have to stir it up. But if you put it in the fridge, the almond like mass underneath the oil layer just solidifies into a completely solid block, and you will not be able to stir it up. So I leave it out of the fridge, but I also buy relatively small jars of almond butter, so they're usually gone within a month anyways, and I figure that's probably fine because it tastes... You can tell when a nut's gone rancid, you know what I mean? But, like... And I guess probably similarly, the tahini smelled like regular tahini, so it's probably fine, but... I don't know. You'll get packaging sometimes in this country where they're like, once opened, use within 2 days, and I'm like... Guess I'll die! I don't know. Food poisoning is no joke, but on the other hand, sometimes I feel like they're a little overzealous in their application of best before end dates and stuff. So, anyways. Excuse me. Oh no, I've got hiccups. I'm trying to find the timer on my phone. I'm living still, there is that. I'm really glad. I'm very glad that you are alive and well. Truly I am. Peace and long life to you. Anyways, okay, 5 minutes on the clock, starting now. I'm trying to figure out the least cursed way to do this, so bear with, and it's going to live right here, so it's not going to be very big, but this is the space that I have available to me, so let's go. Alright, so we've got... This is me. This is me. With which direction does my hair go? I guess it goes kind of, does it go this way or does it go the other way? I don't know. But it's pretty long at this point, so Let's get my nice long hair in there. And I'm just going to be hanging out with my little hand in my pockets, because why not? Because I don't know what to do with my hands when I'm posing for a nice picture. I'm going to have my sleeves rolled up, because I often do, especially when the weather is this warm. And then I'm realizing you're going to have a hard time seeing my feet with this big old skirt on, so just... I'm just going to have to be sliding one out to there's one over here, and then this one I'm just kind of like sliding over to this side. just like that. This is very, very normal of me. And you know what? It's a hot day. So, I've got my big sun hat on. Because I bought myself a big sun hat recently to keep the sun off of my head. And you know what? I feel like that was a good decision. Just a little razzle, just give them the old razzle dazzle. That's me. Pineapple juice I'm drinking has been open for longer than the recommended 5 days for sure. Does it taste fermented? No, you're probably fine. Also, there is a fermented drink that's made from pineapple. I can't remember what it's called, but I remember seeing it being made, and I was like, that looks so good. But I'm also I'm also afraid of fermenting my own fermented goods at home, because what if I do a bad job? And then everything gets all bad. Give him his little cloud beard. He's a cutie. Yeah, which way does his hair normally go? It kind of goes like this. Okay. Oh, I thought the alarm was going off. That is indeed a text from my moderator / spouse. He's got his little hair. He's looking really cute. And his little beard. And he's just the loveliest boy that ever there was. And he's also several inches taller than me, because I am teensy. Have I got the height difference right here? I don't know. I think we're also just going to be holding hands, kind of. I think I maybe goofed on the height difference slightly, because I think he's a little bit too tall here, but never mind. We're also holding hands, because we are in love. Like so. And he's wearing a t-shirt that, just imagine that the t-shirt says something cool. I'm just gonna write cool, because he's a cool dude. Cool dude. There we go. Now you can tell he's a cool dude. This is the least cursed way I could think to do this, so I hope that's okay. Okay, I'm just gonna color in a bit. He's wearing his little trainers as well. I'm wearing my little slip-on shoes, because that's the shoes that I normally wear. I already knew he's cool, says Pickles. You know what? You're right. You are very right. Sludge just texting to say you're doing great, asking for grocery request. He has reported, and hooray to this, that it stopped raining before he left the office. So, happy to hear that. Anyways, Sandman said the hummus I made the second time was delicious. I didn't share it. I was the only one living in the bathroom for a few hours. Oh no. Also, I had a bit more cheese that day than is advisable for lactose intolerance, so it could very well have been that, because, oh, little boy, does dairy do that to me as a fellow lactose intolerant. Oh, geez, that's the timer. I did spend some time reading chat, so I'm just gonna give a little texture to my skirt, and maybe just color in my shirt a touch as well. I'm not gonna color in my hair too much, because, oh man, the grays sure are coming in. But there we go. This is what we look like. Holding hands and holding feet, because we're in love. Anyways, I feel like this is the most accurate representation of my spouse and I that I've ever drawn. Especially the fact that his shirt accurately depicts him as a cool dude, which is very, very important. So, Pickles, I hope you're happy. That's that. Okay, now, we're 54 minutes into the stream, and I haven't actually painted anything on this canvas. I am, says Pickles. Yay, sometimes a little foot contact is cute and affectionate, in my opinion. You know what? There is a famous foot moment, less weird than that sounds, in one of my very favorite TV shows ever. It is so iconic that people have that famous foot moment tattooed on their bodies as a romantic, as romantic gestures go. Yeah, a little foot contact is cute and affectionate. I wholeheartedly agree. So yes. Welcome to the art stream, part of the art stream, says Sammy Ann. Well, this remains to be seen because I still am not 100% sure what I'm going to do with all of this, but we're gonna try to add some things to it and see how we go. And hopefully it'll be okay. I'm gonna take a sip of my mint tea, my minty mint tea. Delightful. And I'm gonna think really hard about what the heck I want to add to this landscape and how. I think, do I want to do, like, I don't know. Art is hard. Did I miss the Sammy's crime corner part of the art stream, or was that after we do some art? There will be no crimes, Pickles. Absolutely none. This is not that I can get particularly close to Sokka's feet if we're cozied up, because his legs are a lot longer than mine. Having met the both of you, yeah, he's a tall fellow. And I don't think you're that much taller than me. So, understood and relatable. But then again, almost everyone to me is, like, tall by comparison. So, anyways. I feel like I should work sort of from the background forwards for, like, the trees and shrubs and gubbins. I feel like that's probably the smartest way to do it? Question mark? But I also don't know. But I'm just gonna... Should I even be using a bigger brush to do this? Should I be using a bigger brush to make some, like, vague tree shapes and then come in and, amend them and give them some details? I don't know. I just don't know. I know that some of these paints are very faintly pigmented, so trying to mix things together is proving to be an interesting exercise. And I do want this to be fairly... I don't want this to be a super brightly colored piece. I want it to be fairly kind of gentle in terms of the range and gradient, you know? Working with a somewhat more cohesive, sort of limited palette, I think is a fun time. Okay. So... Oh, this is the scary part where I start just, like, adding stuff and hoping it looks okay. So to that... Oh, geez. What I'm gonna... this bit is scary. This is the scary bit. Oh, no. This is the scary bit where I have to decide what kind of texture I want the, greenery and stuff to have and how much of it there's going to be. Oh, this is... so nervous for some reason. At this point, this painting is nothing. It's just some lumps. So, like, if I do a terrible job of it, if my sort of meanderings end up looking not very good, it doesn't really matter. I can just keep futzing until it does. Or if it turns out that it's just not going to, I can just, you know, can just kind of get on with my life. So I kind of have to decide what I'm doing here. So maybe I'm just going to draw some vague, like, tree shapes off in the distance. And they're fairly tittle, because we're fairly far away from them. Okay. Some of those are barely visible now they're drying down. Delightful. Love that for me. Towels, hello! Nice lumps you got there. Thank you very much. I'm very proud of these lumps. Glad you approve. Anyways, hello. Welcome in. It's lovely to see you. I'm putting some lines on the lumps so I have something of an idea of where I would like to place some trees back here. Just some happy little lines, and then we'll add a little bit of detail onto the happy little lines as you do. And hope that it continues to look okay. But these are quite far away, so they're not going to be like the most mega detailed, I think. I don't necessarily want to overdo it either, because we might do some other stuff in addition. Okay. So we've got some of that, and I'm just gonna, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go a little bit crazy, and I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow to this. I'm gonna add a little yellow to this color. You can't see any of the things I'm mixing up because it's under my PNG tuber. So I've added a little bit of yellow to the green just to kind of, just so we've got a couple different greennesses happening here, and we can kind of intersperse the both of them as we so please. Anyways, so yeah, I think that's the thing. What was any of that? I don't know. But there. That is a very faint semblance of it. It's not focusing. Look at my fingy. Look at my fingy. That's better. That is a very faint semblance of a tree. I'd say that's a pretty good start. So, but again, this is not anything back here that we want to belabor for too long, because this is pretty lovely tree, says Luna. Ah, thank you. Thank you. This is not anything we want to belabor for too very long, because as elements go, it's pretty... I'm quite happy to have things kind of recede a little bit as we get this far into the background. Tremendous, says Tals. Oh my goodness, y'all. Y'all, thank you. That's beautiful. I appreciate the raw punnage happening here. That's wonderful. It's feeling almost a little too transparent. There we go. Okay. I mean, I would like them to be, visible. So I'm trying to get a little bit more pigment on my brush. And just get some just little shapes. It's just little shapes at this point. Just funky little shapes. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do a couple more with this color. There we go. And maybe this one right here. Trees of various sizes. Just hanging out there. Trying not to futz with it too much. Do I know what I'm doing? No. Do I ever know what I'm doing? No. Do I subscribe to the Fluff Around and Find Out School of Paint and stuff? Hell yes. Hell yes, I do. It's the only way I know how to do it. I've told this story before, but believe it or not, I have very little formal training in art. I say believe it or not with my tongue very firmly lodged in my cheek, BT dubs, because, I mean, like, look at me. But I have very little formal training in art. I did want to do some art courses when I was at university, but unfortunately the art program closed, like, just after I enrolled at the university I was accepted to. So I was like, oh, well, I guess that ain't happening for me. Okay. I guess I'll just focus on my sort of, other interests / written disciplines, and I never did that. But I did in secondary school. I did horribly at art class, not because I didn't have any aptitude for it. I was just not very interested. Trees, says Joe. Yes, trees. I hope you like it. I hope you like them. I'm having a nice time trying to dot them in. I might do some with a little bit of brown as well. I feel like the vibe of this painting is a little bit more, how shall I say? It's a little bit more, autumnal than one would expect in July. But you know what? This will be nice for a September shop update if it turns out cute. I'm probably not gonna. I'm probably not gonna make prints of this. This is more. I want to see how these paints perform, and more specifically, I want to see if I like the way that these, that I've blended these pigments together. If you missed it last stream, basically what this set of paints is me taking a rainbowy set of paint colors and adding raw umber to all of them to make a somewhat more subdued browny kind of set of paints. So that's what we're doing now. Anyways, I'm gonna finish up this round of treeness, which is a word now. Treeness is a word. And then I will probably drop over to BRB screen because I can see that the break is imminent. But hey, I got some painting done before the break, and honestly, that doesn't always happen, so I feel very proud. Luna says, art is so rigid at secondary school as well. I found they essentially tell you what you're supposed to create, at least in the first 3 years. Oh yeah, absolutely. There were like a couple of projects, at least where I was doing it, where we had a little bit more in the way of like license, but oftentimes it definitely was like, okay, we would like you to attempt to recreate this painting, which can be, I think, a useful exercise, but also you need to be able to do more than that. But you know, on the other hand, I also understand the importance of learning things like, you know, sort of the principles of stuff like here's how perspective works, here's how shadows work, all that kind of thing. Things that, you know, like I suck at and don't remember at this point because, again, that was like a gazillion years ago, and I did horribly at art class at school. just generally for various reasons. I was asked not to do. Wait, was that the ad break? Were we in an ad break? Shoot, I thought that was the ad warning. Oh my god. I don't think I got an ad warning. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. That was supposed to be a break. And I didn't get a pop-up warning me that the break was happening. So if anyone was in ads, I am subbed and don't and therefore don't see ads or warnings, says Joe. Yeah, no, well, I mean, only myself and the mods see the ads are coming warnings, because I don't know how to set up the chat bot to have that appear in chat. I could see everything still. Okay, well, maybe just nobody got ads, which I think does happen sometimes. I think it's kind of random whether or not people see ads. But I'm really sorry about that, because I do try and be mindful of, like, not creating content while the ads are running, because, I don't want people to miss stuff. Anyways, I am pulling in some of my... Oh, shoot! I meant to pick up brown. That was purple. I'm picking up some brown. There's not been ads since the beginning for me, says Luna. Awesome. Okay, well, you know, maybe ads have just decided not to do their thing, which, again, is fine. Okay, just getting some variation on this color. Gonna add a little bit of... Make a little bit of a brown green for some of these trees. See how that works for us. Water it down a little bit so it's not too... Just stir all of this blob in the middle of the palette together. It's fine. It's fine. I basically had some leftover paint that I ended up just scraping onto the palette last time, so I'm using that up before I actually get into my sort of blobs of color proper. This is not a very scientific palette compared to some others that I've created, because I normally use like paint pans, and I couldn't find my paint pans, so I had to improvise. Hence, they're just blobs in a cream cheese container. At least the cream cheese was delicious. I don't know, my moderator / spouse likes the garlic and herb. I like the garlic and herb cream cheese as well, though I currently have everything bagel seasoning, so I'm getting plain cream cheese and then putting everything bagel seasoning on it because everything bagel seasoning is delightful and it's really hard to find in this country. So, getting quite a bit of joy out of that at the moment. My moderator slash spouse and I both got hooked on everything bagels when we were back in Canada last. We were like, oh, these are good. Of course, my version of it, because I can't eat regular bagels because I can't have gluten anymore. So I get a gluten-free bagel, which, to be honest, as far as shop-bought bagels go, is not that different, I think, from a regular bagel. It's not as good as the nice, like, good bakery bagels, but listen, as far as the supermarket bagel goes, the only thing that bothers me about the gluten-free bagels is that they're more expensive than the regular bagels, and you get one less bagel per bag. You can't see my face, but I'm scowling. The gluten-free tax is real, and it sucks. Oh my god, having to spend £1.50 for a packet of custard creams that I know isn't going to be as good. I understand that this is a niche dietary need because most people can eat gluten, but it pains me. I mean, generally, I think I've just also slightly modified my eating habits to include less, like, bread, which is probably good in the long run, but anyways. Right, okay. So, catching up with chat. I did get to learn about the esports championship or whatever it was. Says Tals, I'm so sorry. All you missed was me painting in trees. So to be fair, you didn't miss much. I will make sure that I will be very mindful of the time and make sure that I'm not running over the ad break next time. And also I hope I don't need to pee before that. Anyways, Luna says, I like to think I've got a good brain for colors and what looks good. Not necessarily something I've learned, if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a certain amount of, like, a lot of art is a skill that you learn and comes from learning about things and practicing and studying and practicing and doing. But then there are certain things that, just like some people, I know there are some people who really struggle with trying to learn a second language and some people pick it up a lot easier. I've always found, like, learning languages and picking up things in other languages to be fairly easy, but I know a lot of people who are like, nah, I'm useless at it. I try my best and I can't do more than hello, which, you know, fair enough. But likewise, there are a lot of things that I absolutely suck at, so, you know, whatever. But yeah, like, you might just have a brain for color. Like, I have a brain for language. Yeah, exactly. I'd like to think I'd be a pretty good interior designer. But I do have that barred IRL problem of truly believing I could do most things. But you know what? The first step to doing a thing is believing that you could do it. If you start at a base of, oh, I'm never going to be able to master this skill, then you're not really going to give yourself a chance to try. So saying to yourself, I think I could do that, and then trying, even if you find out that, like, oh, this actually takes a lot more work to get good at than it seemed, but then you apply yourself in any degree to trying to be better at it, you'll probably be okay, you know? And even if you're not, that's fine. No one should be expected to be good at everything. That's stupid. Anyways, products being more expensive when they're dietary requirement specific makes me so annoyed. It is just the worst. It is just the worst. Like, oh my god. I basically, when I do get bread products and biscuits and stuff at this point, I basically live off of whatever's on offer. It's like the ciabatta rolls are £2 for a 4-pack. Mine, I guess. Actually, I will say the ciabatta rolls are actually pretty good. I like them. Anyways, Tal says it's all good. Thank you so much. I am once again really, really sorry for anyone who missed anything and had to see ads about esports and didn't realize that, the ads were running. I don't like to do it, so I don't like when that happens. I think it's only happened like once or twice before. But it maketh me a little sad, so. Oh well, anywho. Okay, there's gonna be one kind of poking out just here. Just a poking out. Okay. Alright. Do I want to add more? Does it want to be like a thick forest? I'm worried if I make it a super thick forest that it's just gonna kind of become like a lump. I don't know if I love that particularly. So what's a little creature to do? There we go. Okay. Maybe if I add some slightly larger trees that sort of as it gets a little bit closer to us, or do I want to add some like other little plants in here and there? I feel like this, in hindsight, now that all of the other pieces are painted in, I feel like this could be a little bit darker actually. Okay. All right. I think I'm going to add some other shapes. Some other shapes and some other colors. So I'm picking up some of this yellow and I'm adding some more yellow into it. It's really not green anymore at all. It's like brown and yellow. So maybe, do I want to add a little bit of green to you? Do I want to add a little green to you? Yeah, what the hey. I'll add a little green back into you. I am just futzing, and I will continue futzing until I feel like it looks fine. I know not what I am doing here. I'm just goofing, honestly. But I do find that a very fun way to work sometimes. So, you know, like that's fine. That's okay. But I think what I'm gonna do with this is just add in some little shapes. Just some little shapes, some little textures. Here and there. Just some impressions of landscape. Because why? Just adding to the vibes, I guess. Just making it feel a little bit more full of gubbins. Will this look good? Will it look bad? Who knows? Is it some fun texture? I hope so. Okay. Maybe. There's another one right there. Okay. Am I over? I feel like I'm over futzing a little bit now. I feel like I'm doing too much futzing. And it's gonna end up looking worse because I futzed too much. Oh no. But that's what we're up to. We're futzing and we're finding out. That's the stream. That's it. That's what we're doing today. I'm futzing and we're finding out whether or not it looks good. I feel like adding in all of these little sort of like shrubby lumps makes me want to put some more trees a little further down this hill. So I think that's what I'm gonna do next. Futzing too close to the sun, says Tells. Yes, absolutely. I am the Icarus of futzing. Oh no. Oh no. And 'tis fine, 'tis absolutely fine. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this green lump over here. And I'm gonna reinvigorate the green lump. And I'm gonna try and get a little bit more concentration, saturation, all that jazz out of this green lump. And we are going to add some slightly closer to the foreground trees as we come down the hill. We get a little closer. Maybe this tree is kind of poking out from behind this this shrubby lump. Thus, perhaps another one here, which we can kind of see poking out from behind this hill that's in front of it. Yay! Progress! Wonderful. This one is behind this lump. So it's just kind of hiding out here. And then maybe another one up here. Like so. And there's a real desert here over here where we need some more tree I reckon. Like so. And just a bit of one poking out over here, which we can't really see a lot of because that's where the painting ends. But there's a tree there, don't you worry. Luna says, I saw an Icarus post that made me sad the other day. It was like, everyone focuses so much on him flying close to the sun. They forget that he also had to stay high enough so the sea spray didn't weigh down his feathers. Oh, you know what? Honestly, relatable. Honestly, relatable. It's like there's that tiny window of safety. And on the one side, there's the sun, and on the other side, there's the sea. And then there's me. And I'm trying very hard. I'm trying my best. Oh no, I related too hard to that, Luna, and I made myself sad about myself. Uh-oh. Anyways, let's forget about that and have a happy little time painting. No, it's fine. But let's have a happy little time painting some more happy little trees. Okay. Alright. I think that's it for that color of trees. But I think I'm going to add some more colors of trees down here. Big Sam. Aw, big hugs. Big hug. There we go. Hugs for anyone who needs them and is comfortable with receiving hugs. Waves of acknowledgement for anyone who wants to feel acknowledged, but does not wish to be hugged. Respect for all things. Okie dokie. Oh, that's so much brown. I just added so much brown. Here, but you know what? I like it. I like it. So let's go. All right. So just behind this guy. Oh no, my brush is too wet. My brush is too wet. They make the line too thick when my brush is too wet. But that's okay. Yay, another tree. Another day, another tree. Huh? As they say, no one has ever said that in the world. But I just did. Yay. Do you ever stop and, talking about having an aptitude for languages, do you ever stop and just think to yourself, like, damn, I just said that, like, statistically speaking, no one has ever uttered the sentence that I have just uttered. Like, that's crazy. What? Like, you're like, wait, no one has ever uttered this sentence before. That's, wow, I'm just coming up with novel utterances willy-nilly. But then it's like in the context of, I don't know, it's in the, like, the utterance that you just said is something so out of pocket that, like, of course no one has ever said that before. I'm trying to think of something horribly out of pocket that it sounds like something that I would say. And now that I'm trying to think of one, I can't. So oh, what's something that I was thinking of earlier? Oh yeah, something that bothers me about, like, people have been talking lately about, and I agree, that it feels like a problem in terms of, like, a lot of contemporary TV dramas, that because they're all these streaming service shows that have like 8 episodes a season and are running like a continuous story arc instead of being like, 20 episodic episodes that you can kind of dip in and out of, but in so being allow for things like, bottle episodes and filler episodes and things that don't contribute very much to the overall arc of the series, but allow you to have really meaningful character moments that you don't necessarily get when you've only got 8 episodes to play with and you have a fairly tightly scripted plot within those 8 episodes. It's one of the things that, I really enjoy about going back and watching TV shows that ran for like 7 seasons at 24 episodes a season. It's just like, there's a lot. And, sometimes they squandered those 7 seasons and 24 episodes a season. And sometimes they give you just some incredible depth, even though some of the episodes are like the gang plays baseball and, the gang pretends to be Robin Hood, or, you know, like something stupid like that, right? But there's still, you learn stuff about them through the stupid filler episodes. And I think that's really special. Um, but, you know, I think there's something to be said for the merits of both formats as well. Like, when we started seeing these series, that I think has been more of a British thing for a longer period of time, because a lot of British shows, by contrast, have oftentimes, you know, been like, oh, this season is like 4 episodes long. But also, instead of having a writer's room full of, like, you know, like 8 people all working on the show, they had like a single writer, or maybe 2 people writing the series. So it was like, you know, between 4 and 8 episodes for a series was normal. And I like that. I do like that. But I think there's room for both. And I think, I don't know. I like the old stuff, but also I know that when we started seeing more of the, like, you know, continuous storyline, plot driven, binge watchable, shorter episode number seasons with streaming, that was really refreshing, because it's so different to the, like, 24 episode, you know, syndication friendly format. And it allows you to tell different stories at different paces. But on the other hand, I think also sometimes the pacing is affected negatively by the fact that you're not beholden to, like, having to keep to specific tight run times. So you can have an episode that's just like it's just like a movie. It's just 2 hours long. But to be honest, you probably could have edited out like half of it, and it would have felt like a much tighter story. Anyways, the reason I started talking about all that is that I just wanted to say, chances are no one's uttered any of those sentences exactly ever at all in human history, and that's kind of neat. All right, there we go. I was originally going to try and make a sentence about Gandalf's big naturals, but I didn't want to, so I was trying to think of something a little bit more highbrow, damn it. Anyways, Luna says, when we were away, an old bookstore had a couple of demonology grimoires. Ooh, and I was looking at them, and I ended up not getting them because, I don't know, I want my grimoires and demon books to look pretty so I can have them as coffee table books. It feels very much like a Luna sentence. It really does. That's so incredibly on brand, and also I love that sentiment. That's delightful. Tells us sometimes the filler wasn't good, but sometimes it really rounded things out. Oh yeah, I mean, sometimes the filler episodes were trash. Sometimes the non-filler episodes were trash. Sometimes a large percentage of the episodes were trash. But, you know, that's kind of okay. I am okay with, like, you know, an ongoing, but also having a larger number of episodes per season means that if there's a couple episodes that suck, but most of them are at least, like, passably enjoyable to watch, that the sucky episodes are generally, unless it's like a big deal season finale, they're less of a big deal to have, like, one episode that just didn't work out really well, compared to if you've only got 6 episodes in a season and 2 of the episodes are kind of shitty. That's a third of your output, you know? Rex says, I'm pretty sure Gandalf's big naturals wouldn't even be a never before spoken thing. That side of the internet does everything. I can tell you right now that as a Tumblr user, Gandalf's big naturals is absolutely a thing. And it's very funny. No, I will not be linking to my Tumblr. Though, to be honest, my Tumblr is mostly, these days, it's mostly me having, like, wobbles about writing and, it's mostly me having wobbles about writing and, posting gift sets from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Anyways, I feel like I'm more or less happy with that for now. I might add some more stuff to it, but it's got a goodly amount of texture, so I think we can go with this. Luna says, I like the sentences that you end up having as in-jokes as well. Like, whenever Sokka and I listen to the History of English podcast, ooh, that sounds like a fun podcast, I make the same joke every time when we rewatch some of our comfort shows. We say the same things at the same points. Oh, yeah, absolutely. There is, oh man, I don't want to, I don't want to tell you this in-joke, but there's an in-joke that my moderator / spouse and I have that we repeat every time we see this one ad that's been running a lot on YouTube for sunscreen, that just the way that they speak in the ad, just I don't want to say what it is. I don't want to say what it is because it's terrible, but there's this ad that runs quite a bit on our YouTube for sunscreen, and Luna, how did you know? All right, so since Luna said, let's just establish once again from the top that this is a wholesome stream, but this is also an adult stream for grown-ups, so I expect that everyone here is an adult, okay? And to that end, there is an ad that is, it's basically, it's for sunscreen, and it's basically outlining, you know, sort of this is, you know, like the usual, like, you know you're supposed to use, I am accidentally an adult, it just happened to me, says Joe. That is very fair. I think that's the case for most of us. But as long as you are, that's fine. But don't talk about your specific ages in chat, because that's safety reasons. Anyways. But this ad for sunscreen goes, if you know, the amount of sunscreen you're supposed to put on your face is like 2 finger lengths worth of sunscreen, right? That's enough to cover your face and be protected. So the ad goes, 2 fingers for sun protection, 2 fingers for sun damage. And then there's just a pause. And the first time I saw this ad, it went 2 fingers for sun protection, 2 fingers for sun damage. And I just went, and 2 fingers for fun. And now we have to do it every time. That's a lot of sunscreen, says Rex. It is like, I mean, depending on the length of your finger and the relative size of your face. Like, some people have a much higher forehead than other people. I wholeheartedly agree. I've started using a sunscreen stick because, thanks Tism, I cannot stand the texture of most sunscreens. I do find that a number of the Korean sunscreens that I've used are much nicer formulations in terms of not making my skin feel greasy and sticky and horrible. But the liquid ones will eventually get into my eyes, even though I'm not applying it anywhere near my eyes, obviously. I'm putting it on my forehead, and somehow it's making it past my eyebrows, into my eyes, or up from my cheekbones into my eyes, despite the fact that I'm not rubbing my eyes, I'm not doing anything. Like, by the end of the day, my eyes are so stinking itchy because the sunscreen's gotten in there. I don't know how. So, I use a sunscreen stick. So it's basically, it looks like a deodorant stick, and you just rub that all over your face. And it's so much easier. And it's also quite small, so I can carry it in my purse if I need to, like, top up at the end of the day, that kind of thing. So yeah, the stick is better, for me anyways. I'm gonna think it every time now, says Luna. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry, because I'm very funny. Anything on my skin makes me feel like I'm suffocating, says Joe. Does the stick... I honestly think that the sunscreen stick is better. I recommend, if you're able to go to a shop that has testers to just, like, test out a bunch of the sunscreens, you know, just, like, on like, your wrist or whatever, and see if any of them feel acceptable. I cannot not moisturize my face. I'm very picky about the moisturizers that I use. So I've always got moisturizer on, but I can't use any of the moisturizers that have a built-in SPF because they all have the bad texture. So, anyways, again, not sponsored, but just so you know, the stick that I use is from a brand called, and it also doesn't really smell like anything. The stick that I use is from a brand called Benton, but I think most of the sunscreen sticks that are available, the Korean ones, I would say are probably pretty good. But again, I would recommend, if you're able to go to, like, there's a shop in the UK called Pure Soul. If you're able to go to, like, a Pure Soul location and just test out their sunscreen sticks and see if any of them feel acceptable to you, recommend. Anyways, Luna says, you know how in Blades in the Dark you get 1d6. Also, if Benton Sunscreen wanted to sponsor me, you can do, like, I'm willing to discuss. It's good sunscreen. Anyways, you know in Blades in the Dark, says Luna, you get 1d6 for sheer luck, 2 fingers for sun protection, 2 fingers for sun damage, 2 fingers for sheer luck. Yes. That one's a little less adult rated than mine. I don't get the sun damage bit. You're wearing sunscreen, right? I guess it's to... Is it protecting you from sun damage? Preventing sun damage? Question mark? I don't know. Rex says, the moisturizer I use is called The AC Is Still Broke. It's very effective even on the furniture. Oh god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We have one of those in Manchester, says Luna. Thank you for the recommendation. I did have a brief look in there, but I was overwhelmed, so I didn't know where to start. Start with the sunscreen. Start with the sunscreen. If you have any textural issues with sunscreen like I do, test out some Korean sunscreens. I find that their formulations are... A lot of the ones that I have tested out tend to be more skin friendly if you don't like the sort of regular drugstore stuff. Is it like sticking 2 fingers up at sun damage? Maybe. I don't know. My solution to sun protection and preventing sun damage is honestly just stay the hell out of the sun at all times. I just don't leave my house. I sit in my house with the curtains closed, and when it is a sunny day and the sun's out, I now wear a big hat that looks a little bit like this, and I will run away when I'm in direct sunlight. I will just, the sun is shining on my skin or body, I will just leave. I will just leave. And it feels better. I avoid the sun, but sometimes it jump scares me, says Joe. Relatable. I feel that. For sure, for sure. Okie dokie. It's time to look at this hill. And add some gubbins to this hill. And think about what kind of things I want to add to this hill, I guess. And what I think I would like to do with this hill is some more trees, but also I want to put a little cottage on this hill. I think that would be nice. Luna says, when we were away, I got a swimsuit that zips all the way up to my neck and has long sleeves so I could go in the sea and is UV protective, and I was so happy. That is awesome. I love that. I love that so much. Also, oh my god, I haven't been in the sea in... I touched a tiny bit of the sea like 5 years ago. But the tide was out, so it was basically just a muddy puddle. But that sounds really good. That is awesome. I love that for you. Oh, I used to swim all the time. I miss swimming. One part of my upper left thigh is still burned. Only that one part, bizarrely. Oh, weird, but my back, arms, neck, etc. were safe. That's awesome. Though I'm very sorry to hear about your leg. I hope that it recovers soon and doesn't feel too uncomfortable. Okay. This tea is tepid now, but remains delicious. Yum, yum. Okay. So, methinks what I want to do, if I can, is slightly more slightly more concentrated, slightly more colored in greenery over here, and also slightly larger. So let me see what I can do with that. So I'm gonna once again add in some tree shapes, but again, the tree shapes are a little bit bigger here. Shoot, how am I gonna do this? Heck. And we're gonna cover up some stuff that we saw previously, but that's okay. I ran out of paint. Oh no. Maybe another one, just... There. Okay. we have sticks. It's important that we have sticks. Because I am also going to add a little cottage here. Just kind of in foregrounding these trees. So I think I will leave the sticks as sticks for now, and then we will add in the foliage subsequently to my at least getting the bones of the cottage down. And I think I want the cottage to be like red and kind of thing. Pukara, hello. That's me. Hi, welcome in. You made you into a PNG tuber. Yes, 'tis moi. Hello, hello. It's me. Hello. Anyways, we saw a few compass jellyfish. They're so cool, but also very stealthy. Unfortunately, painful friends. Oh no. Oh no. But jellyfish are so cool. But, oh no, I hope they didn't give you too much bother. Because that does sound a little bit scary, if they were stingy little thingies. Don't know. This red is so potent that I think I'm gonna make another blob on. Okay, I'm just gonna move my painting out of the way so you can see what I'm doing over here. I'm just gonna make a little blobbit because, to be honest, I'm not gonna need a ton of red paint for this. So I'm just gonna make a little blobbit here. I'm gonna rinse a little bit of it off. And oh yeah. Anyways, for anyone who's come in recently, how are you doing? How's your Monday going? How was your weekend? Lovely to see you and welcome. I'm gonna add a little bit of my sort of blacky browny gubbins from over here into this just to kind of mellow it out a little bit. Moment, my moderator / spouse has just come home. I'm gonna go say hello. Hi, darling. My face is still giving me trouble, but I think it's getting better. But I think it's going to take a few days for it to fully go back down and be normal. So, anyways, cottage time. Chat says hello, sweetie. We've got hellos from Luna and Joe and Tals. I don't know if you could hear him shout hello, but he shouted hello. He says hello to y'all. Because he's a very polite boy. Anyways, what else do I want to add? Maybe a little bit of this weird blue. I'm going to add a little bit of this weird blue. Okay, there we go. That is the color that I would like to use for our little cottage wizard. Okay, let's bring back our painting. Now that you know the color that I'm painting, which is, it's got some weird dimension to it, but I like it. I like it. Anyways, I feel like I should be using a finer brush for this, but Rex also says hello, moderator / spouse.
Hello, chat.
He says hello. Okay. Is it a mistake to be using such a thick brush to do this? I don't know. Quite possibly. Am I going to do it anyways? Yeah. Basically, yeah. Okay, so I think the house is going to start here, I think. And complete over here. Hopefully that will work. Going to make a little rooftop type situation. Does this house make sense? Does it have to make sense? Does it really? I don't know. I feel like it probably should, but it will eventually make sense, I think. And I think actually for this portion of it, I'm gonna need to go back to my greens, because I think what I'm gonna do here is just kind of just for the this bit of the house have just some little shrubbies either side of it, like so. But that's kind of obscuring the foundation slightly. But I am going to go in with my tiny little brush for what we've got left. I think that will be a little bit more. Where the heck is my my tiny little brush is here. It's going to be a little bit more useful for getting in some of the teeny tinier details, because I would like to not ruin it, basically. Okay, also, can I just, maybe bring this shrub just a little bit closer? Because it should be down in front. There we go. All right. Okay, wizard. Thank you so much for the affirmation, Joe. Let us put away the bones of this little house. Its rickety foundations for just a moment. And have ourselves a happy little affirmation, shall we? I can't remember which. Hello Bird says, tells, yes, the birds are very vocal. The birds are very vocal, which is a delight. I think it's this one. I think we're doing this one, but I genuinely don't remember which one I did last. Or is it? No, wait, it's the other one. It's the other one. Hold up. I think it's the other one. I do appreciate the vocalizations of the birds because, you know, I love the birds. Also, thank you for the hydrate as well, Joe. Let me have a little sip of this bad boy. My mint tea. Yum. Okay. It's time for an affirmation. And I hope that you will enjoy it. For anyone who doesn't know, I purchased a couple of affirmation decks from a nifty artist online, and I just think it's nice to have a little moment to reflect on, you know, sort of a nice thought. I think it's a useful thing to have. Anyways, so this is our affirmation deck for today. I kind of want to make our own affirmation cards for stream at some point. I think that would be a nice, fun project. Maybe just kind of chip away at them. Like every once in a while I'll do a new one. I don't know. Would that be neat? I don't know what I'd draw on them, though, is the thing. I don't know what I would draw. Can I think of any affirmations? I don't know. I'm not always the best at, like, general sort of affirmations and positivity. I do try to be, but, like, in my own personal life, I suck. That would be sweet, says Luna. Thank you. I think it would be fun. And I've got, I could use my A7 sized watercolors, because that's a good size for an affirmation card already, I feel like. I don't know about getting them printed, because that would be very expensive. But at least I could attempt to shuffle a stack of original paintings, I guess. And then look at them on stream. Okay, I've shuffled this pretty well, I hope, so I'm gonna pop a card out here and we'll take a little look, see what we got. I love this one. I love this one so much. Your past self is so proud of you. That's, Luna suggested a little sunscreen bottle doing a peace sign saying 2 fingers for sun protection. Oh god. That's what I get for telling y'all about that goof. But anyways, your past self is so proud of you, and I think that's a really important thing to think about and remember. Like, even if it feels like you haven't ended up where you expected to, or, you know, things haven't gone as you planned, like, you've come so far. If you actually go back and look, it's like, damn, I have grown a lot, you know? And I've experienced a lot of things. And it hasn't always been easy, but here I am. And, you know, like, you should be very proud. And your past self is super proud of you, so you should be too. So there, okay? Anyways, there's your affirmation. I love that one. I think that's absolutely wonderful. Also, just the artwork, and this is so stinking cute. I love it. But there's your affirmation time. I hope that this is helpful to you. I hope that you're able to take that and meditate on it and give yourself the congratulations and the being proud of yourself that you deserve, because you do. Okay? Okay. I've climbed several mountains, says Joe. Not real mountains, metaphorical ones. I genuinely didn't know what you meant. I was like, metaphorical mountains also hecking amazing and you should be incredibly proud, but just so you know, I was also picturing Snowdonia, which would also be very cool. That's not something I can do because, oh man, inclines are not my friend. I have tiny legs. I'm always like, oh, the view would be so nice, but if the mountain doesn't have like a cable car, a funicular, or a lift, forget it. or a tram. And any of the above. But yeah. Anywho. Yum yum. Once again. Man, this tea is also good cold. I'm getting the cinnamon more now that it's cooled down, actually. That's quite neat. Okay. What I would like to do... Where'd my phone go? What I would like to do... the thought that 13-year-old me would think that current me is really cool is honestly a lovely thought some days. Yeah, I mean, like, can I say for sure what, like, my teenage self would think of my current self? No. But I would like to at least hope that they'd be like, wow, you moved to another country? That's rad as heck. And that would be very, correct of them. It is. It is extremely rad. I'm just plopping some little windows onto this property. Because, you know, I think it's nice to have the light come in to your home. I'm here for inviting the light into one's home, if one so chooses. I think that's nice. But only if you enjoy it, of course. I'm a little concerned that I'm going to run out of this red paint. I thought I made enough, but now I'm not so sure. Uh-oh. Well, I'll make as good of a go of it as I can. Some of it is kind of dried onto the palette, so I've added a little bit more water to my brush in the hopes that I can just get it to extend. Also slightly hoping that the color of the house doesn't make it look, I don't know. I want it to look, I love the little like red cottages. I think they're so cozy and whimsical. So I want to make sure that this looks whimsical and not like sinister. Also, I feel like the windows have kind of disappeared in here. I kind of wish I'd made the windows bigger. I wonder if I can... Whoa, not with that big a blobbit of water. But I'm wondering if I can just take a wet brush and just kind of lift a little bit larger size window off of here. I'm going to take a little tissue and I'm going to see if that worked. Hey, that kind of worked. I can work with it. That's the important thing. Maybe there's just going to be one big window on the side of the house, because the two small windows weren't working for me there. So it's just going to be one big old window. And I think that'll work better. Which I will be painting in, so it's going to not be quite this... It's going to not be quite this non-color. Likewise, I am going to paint in the roof as well, which is going to be a different color also. Which I think I want to do. I think I want to do the roof as like kind of a greenish black, if I can. So I'm just picking up some of the black, the brownish black off of my palette, and I'll add a little bit of the green to it. And then we'll color that in. It might end up just looking brown. That, honestly, also fine. Honestly, also fine. Okay. Is cute? Who knows? Who knows? We're nowhere near done. But I think this could be something. This could be something we're getting someplace with it. I think. I don't know, but hopefully, I'll pick up a little bit more of this Mars Black, and I would like to maybe just have a little chimney right here, because you know what's real cozy? A nickel chimney, of course. I feel like that makes it look cozier. Does it? I don't know, but I hope it does. I hope it does. Anyways. Yeah, that's looking alright. What else do I want? I want to add... what else do I want to add? I was debating whether or not I would add some tiny people, but I feel like this is so tiny that if I try to add people, they're just going to be like little blobs. Like, they're just going to be tiny little blobs. I don't know how well that would work. Maybe it's just cottage. Don't know. Painting is hard, and thinking of things is also hard. And this is also a very tiny little cottage. Tiny little cottage. Off in the middle of nothing. Out here. Sorry, got real quiet there. I was just trying something. Anyways. Sometimes we are all tiny little blobs, and that's okay, says Tels. You know what? I regularly feel like a tiny little blob. Happy International Non-Binary Day, everyone. My gender is tiny little blob. That's not a piss take, genuinely. Yeah, my gender is, I don't know what my gender is, and at this point I'm afraid to ask. My gender is ADHD. My gender is anytime, like, a call for submissions would come in for, like, writing or artwork or, you know, like, for an anthology or something, and they're like, we're specifically looking for women writers. Like, just, like, out of instinct, my brain would go, well, that ain't me. And, yeah, maybe that was something worth examining. Anyways, happy International Non-Binary Day, everyone. Ha. I'm so torn about what else I want to do with this little house. Like, I thought about, what about a little, like, garden or a little veggie patch? But to be honest, I think anything might be too much, too fussy, too many things. I don't want it, because it's so tittle, I don't want to overcomplicate it. Luna says, mine swings between no thank you, fey creature, and celestial being. All delightful. Absolutely delightful. That's rad. That's very rad of you. Okie dokie. I do want to, okay. I do want to just, like, paint in the windows. if I can. But with more, maybe I'll just steal a little bit of neutral tint because I think it's a little bit more pigmented. So that the windows are properly painted in. Because we are affording the owner of this cottage their privacy, of course. One should expect nothing less than that. Okay. Cool. The other thing that I want to do is I need to decide what color the door should be. I think I want the door to be like a lighter color. I think that'll work better. Luna says, enters room, be not afraid. Actually, maybe do be afraid. I don't know. Fair enough. Ayo, Cottager, says Tomcat. Hello, Tomcat. Welcome in. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you and welcome. I was trying to blot and then I goofed and I think I lifted some paint that I didn't want to lift. So let me put that paint back. I guess. Heck. Anyways, how's it going? Lovely to see you and welcome. Hello, hello. All right. I think I'm just about there on this, but what I might do is just add some happy little like wood panel-y detailing onto the house. Good, wonderful. Luna says, that's it actually, my gender is wings, also fair. Think feathers or think eye makeup or think probably not the band. But anyways, once again, happy non-binary day, everyone. Your genders, or respective lack thereof, are cool. And we love you. Nothing but wholehearted and enthusiastic support for all the genders in this house, including gender I hardly know her. Alright, there's a house. Or bats. Also we have oh, hell yeah, bats. Bats are cool. I love bats. We have thunder, says Luna. Oh my goodness, I love that. So exciting. It is a rainy day. I don't think it's, currently the sun's actually out here, but it has the air, like the texture of the air has the vibe of it is a rainy day. So, oh, whomst knows? Whomst knows? Okay. Okay, we have a semblance of a little cottage, I think. So I'm going to leave that for now, and I'm going to I'm going to start texturing those trees, and I'm going to use the larger brush, the larger brush to do that. I am going to pop into a BRB before I do, though, because I can see that the ads are about to run, and I'm not going to run through them this time. Luna says, I think the fact that Angel Gabriel is apparently male, but is always played in primary school by a girl was probably the beginning of something for me. Fair enough. I'm going to BRB, so be right back, everyone. Enjoy the break. You're not going to miss anything this time. So I'll see you very shortly. Enjoy the ads if you get them, and I hope that you don't, but if you do, I'm sorry. And BRB! Okay, hopefully we're back. Hi! Thank you for sticking around if you did. I very much appreciate that. It's nice to be back. And it's nice to continue on with this bad boy. Alright, so I need some green paint, I reckon. I'm going to take this blobby here, and I'm going to try and give myself somewhat more of a saturated amount, though I think I'm running out on this palette, so I'm probably gonna have to switch fairly soon. But also I'm wondering what I might do is kind of go in with the vague shape of the tree and then add some and then actually add some like, what's the word I'm looking for? Add some more detailed texture to it afterwards, because obviously these are bigger trees than we had hitherto, so we could conceivably do that. And that could be neat. So if I kind of go like this, la 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 la, it's a tree. It's a tree. We could add some texture to that once that's dried down with our little fine brush, and I think that could be quite groovy. That could be cool. Like, why not? We could do that. Okay. So that might be something we end up doing, actually. Just add in some little tree lumpies. And then we can actually go in and make these a little bit more interesting afterwards. Because I added a little bit of texture to the little cottage, and I think that's hopefully gonna be. I'm gonna add like line weight and stuff to it afterwards as well. But I think that might be quite cute. So we'll see. We'll see how we get on. I'm still tempted to add tiny people, but what I might do is add like some tiny people like down here, and they're walking towards their cottage up the hill or something. That could be cute. That could be cute. I could do that. I could do that. I don't know what happened to my accent just then, but apologies. Moving on. I'm glued to my sofa, so I always stick around, says Joe. Well, thank you very much, and I hope your sofa is comfy. I am thankfully not glued to anything at the moment. I am sat, but I did get up and have a stretch and talk to my moderator / spouse and do all of those things when we were on break, and that was nice. Okie dokie. More of this green, please. More green. I think I need to re-wet my brush just a smidgen. And just eat all of this paint. Okay. Oh, that brush was not wet enough. Okay. And not nearly enough paint because it's going on very scrungly. Scrungly? It's going on pretty scrungly is what I'm trying to express. And I want it to feel more like that. Gumby! Hello, welcome in. How are you doing? It's wonderful to see you, and welcome. Hello, hello, hello. Hope you are well. I am painting some happy little trees at the moment. And having a wonderful time. Happy little trees. But yeah, hope you're having a good Monday. I'm having a Monday. It is fine. I'm having fish fingies for my tea. And, I will be, the cutest and happiest little trees, says Gumby. I'm certainly trying my best. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to my tea this evening. I've got mashed potatoes and I've got fish fingies. And I'm going to have fish fingies and mashed potatoes for tea, which I also like to refer to as kids menu. I do a reasonable amount of like, serious business home cooking. But also, I do love to make what I like to call kids menu. Especially when I don't have a lot of time. And I don't have the energy to expend a lot of effort. It's nice to be able to fall back on a kids menu kind of meal. It really is. So that's what I'm doing for tonight. It's Din Dins. Okay. Stop futzing with that tree. We call that kind of meal easy freezy, says Luna. Hell yeah. Very true. Very good. Absolute deliciousness. Okay. Give me paint. I'm ruining this brush trying to pick up all of this dang paint. But here we are. There's no rhyme, there's no reason. It's gonna be whatever color it is. Chicken nuggies, potato stars, mozzarella sticks. Oh, mozzarella sticks, my beloved. Sounds like an adult meal for me. I eat the same. Nice with garden peas. Hell yeah. Of course we've got peas. We love peas in this household as well. You are definitely a peas enjoying household. So yeah, looking forward to all of that good stuff. I think it'll be nice. All right. Do I have enough paint that I can do this bad boy in the foreground? I do. Like almost not quite, but that'll do. Alpha bites. Ooh, delightful. I used to like the corn dino nuggets, but guess what? Guess what? This creature can't eat dino nuggies anymore because the breadcrumbs are made of bread. There are these air fryer bites that we've gotten a few times. We had them yesterday, in fact. That they're like nuggies, but the filling is vegetables. But importantly, the breadcrumb coating is it's like dietarily safe for yours truly. So I'm a big fan of them for that reason. Yay! All right. I do wish they came in dinosaur shapes, though. They just come in like standard nugget shape, and it's not nearly as exciting as if they were dinosaur shaped. This whole palette is just a mess now. There's no rhyme or reason to any of it. It's just gonna be varying shades of green. Who knows? Not me. Because I'm just mixing all of the relevant colors together and just seeing what I get now. This painting is very much if we futz around, we will find out some interesting things about how to paint and maybe ourselves. And that's fun. Hopefully. Anyways, at least it's feeling a lot more together than it was when we started. Because when we started, it was literally just 3 lumps and a slightly cloudy sky. And now it's kind of starting to look like a landscape that could maybe exist in real life. Maybe not on this planet, because the colors are real weird, but I don't know. I mean, it could if you're wearing weird sunglasses. Anyways, only thunder, but thunder and a rainbow. Oh, that's rad. That's rad as heck. Congratulations on the rainbow. I love that for you. Hell yeah. I'm now feeling like I kind of need to put some trees over here because we've got a nice kind of thing, and maybe a couple more. This is okay. Is it okay that there's a little gap in the trees? If there's a little gap, I'm gonna stick a shorter tree in, like here. Kind of going behind the chimney a little bit. Just because it was feeling a little funky, a little bit imperfect. Like that. Okay, that's feeling a little bit better for sure. And maybe I'm just gonna fill this. I'm just gonna add some fill color here because it felt weird. But now that I've done that, I feel like maybe I should add a couple of trees over here as well. Because now this area is feeling like there should be trees there? Question mark? I don't know. Am I gonna end up futzing too much with this piece? Maybe. That's always a possibility. But if you don't futz, you don't find out. Okay. Alright. So if I stick another, this one's kind of slightly concealed by the hill here. There's another one like here. And then one that's like there. Okay. I've added some more tree sticks. I think this will be good. At least it's cooler. I can stick the oven on to eat food. Hell yeah, Joe. I love that for you. I think I'm probably going to air fryer my, my fish fingies. I love my air fryer. Not to be like an air fryer evangelist on Maine, but they are great. They are great. And I find them really useful for, the thing is, like, we get ads for air fryers a lot, like on YouTube and stuff when we're watching videos. And it's like, yeah, the air fryer is great. And they're like, oh, you can make chips, but with less fat. And I'm like, well, I never make, you know what I do in the air fryer? I make like, I just use it to cook like 6 fish fingers. Because that's way too, that feels like not enough food to stick the oven on for. So I like having the air fryer to cook like 6 fish fingers. Or just, something that's relatively small that just needs to like cook. I think it's really good for that. I have not used the air fryer to bake muffins or anything. Like I've seen recipes for that kind of thing. I have not attempted that because frankly, it scares me. But I do think it's great for, and also like if I'm making myself like a mini pizza with like a pita bread or something, air fryer. Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry. Oh, that was intense. Okay. Oh, bless me. Jeez Louise. Okay, my paintbrush apparently completely dried up there, so let me just, once again, get all kinds of paints in there and hopefully actually have some paint on my brush. Nope. Where is all the paint gone? I'm adding paint. I would like to see colors. Alright. Yeah, I feel like that feels a little bit more... Does that feel like it makes more sense? I feel like you can see sort of the line of the hill with all of these interspersed trees. And maybe just the trees get a little bit more sparse as it goes down. Maybe I'll just add another one like here. Oh, is that... No, I don't like that. No, I don't like that line. Ah, shoot. Ah, shoot. Okay, hold up. I don't like that line. Where's my tissue? Oh no, it's stuck. It's stuck fast. Hold up. Hold up. Bear with. Okay, the line is mostly gone. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna forget about that line. And we are going to put one just a little to the left of it. It makes a difference. It really does. Trust me. It was making a weird tangent with one of the trees sort of behind it, and I did not like that. There. Okay, now it is just a tree. Yay. Good. Good job, me. It's just a tree. Actually. I'm futzing again. No, I'm done. My brush is dried up, so I'm done. Okay. So with that being said, there's another tree hiding slightly behind it. Because why? Because I said so. Because I can. Just there. Alright. Do I stop futzing with the trees now? Is it time for me to stop futzing with the trees? I just don't know. I just don't know, y'all. It's so hard to know when it's time to stop futzing with the trees. Ah! Hardship. I know, but like, listen. It is hard. Kind of. Life is hard, painting is hard, knowing when to stop painting, also hard. And it's not something I'm always good at. I feel like this little can't futz the forest for the trees. Yes, exactly. Honestly, like, it's one of those things where, you know, if you don't think of it, you don't necessarily think of it, but like, knowing when to stop futzing in a painting is a skill. And it's something you have to It's something you don't necessarily just, you don't necessarily just know, you know? Like, it kind of, it comes and goes over time. And it varies based on the thing you're working on at that point. But I think I'm going to stop futzing with the trees in this section because I run the risk of just covering the whole thing in trees and kind of wrecking it, because I do think that it's kind of good to just be able to see some grass and some shrubs and some other things as well. So to that end, I'm going to once again take my puddle of increasingly brown-green stuff, and I'm going to add some more yellow to it. And I'm just going to go into my little puddle. And there's some yellow in my puddle now. I'm going to pick up some blue. I'm going to add some blue to my yellow puddle. And we have another weird green color. Because that's everything in this painting, apparently. Just a little bit more can suddenly become oops too much, this tells. Yeah, exactly. And it is hard, especially when you are doing traditional artworks. You don't have a Control Z where you can't just, like, be like, okay, that layer was a mistake, and just, like, delete the layer where you added too much stuff. You're just kind of, well, I guess this happened. Oh, well. Which can be quite tough, I think. For me, anyways, it definitely is. All right, but I want to add some planty gubbins here and there as well. Around here, like maybe in among the trees also, from time to time. Just some little lumps. What are the little lumps? Ugh. But they're there. Just some plant life, some grasses, some shrubbies. I don't know. Increasing in size as we get closer to the foreground. But also, hopefully, reasonably subtle. Yeah! Is that something? I don't know. The thing is, when I'm adding in, like, random elements like this, it's... And I've talked about this on stream before. It's that balance between creating something that feels like it's just sort of a random part of the landscape, but also, importantly, being deliberate in your application of randomness. Because as we know, like, if you, for instance, have a d20, you could conceivably roll the d20 3 times in a row, and it will randomly roll you, like, 1, 1, 1. That's a possible random combination of dice rolls. But that doesn't feel random. So we have to manufacture a carefully crafted sense of randomness to make it feel like it's organic. Which is actually very difficult to do. It's so hard to do it. It's so hard to do. I'm debating hard whether or not I want to add a couple of little guys sort of maybe down here, sort of walking back towards the cottage, but I just don't know. I just don't know, so I'm probably going to leave that to the end. Ah! There's also the question of this hill, which is in front of this hill, so it's got even larger stuff on it. What do I want to put on this hill? Does this hill have trees? Does it just have some shrubs and stuff? Are we going to figure that out next time? Because I just don't know. Maybe. Maybe we are. I've seen the time, and I'm probably not going to go on for too much longer today. But I've had a lot of fun doing this, actually. I was really uncertain when I started working on it last week whether or not I was even going to continue with it. But I think it's turning out quite cute. I think I like it. I think I do. So I'm happy that I've done that, and I'm happy that this is my first outing with these paints, and I hope you like it. Anyways, what's everybody up to this week coming? Do you have any exciting plans? I think my exciting plans are I'm streaming on Thursday and I'm streaming on Friday, and then I am away elsewhere and doing other stuff for a few days next week. So, oh yeah, programming note for the following week. I'm going to be not streaming for a couple of days. Possibly just Thursday, possibly Thursday and Friday, possibly Monday or then Thursday. I don't know. At this point, I'm not 100% sure. But we shall see, I guess. I will let you know when I know what's happening with next week's streams, but just FYI. I'm going to be away for a couple of days, doing some family-in-law stuff. So I will see you, but not as many days as a regularly scheduled week. Anyway, I'm winding down towards holiday, says Talis. Oh, sounds so nice. Sounds so nice. Love that for you. I hope that you have a lovely holiday. Whether you're going somewhere or just hanging out at home, I hope whatever it may be is nice. Very much I do. Right. I wonder, do I want to have like some big shrubbies and maybe sort of like the top of like a big old tree hanging out up here? Maybe I do. Ooh, maybe I do. Maybe I do. That could be good. Maybe? Question mark? Luna says, I was actually thinking of finally getting back into some streaming. Hell yeah, do it! But I typically do it when Sokka's at work. Beans! And he has a hospital appointment tomorrow instead of the office, so maybe not this week. In that case, hang out with Sokka. So probably homemaking and cross-stitching. That also sounds really nice. I hope that it all goes really well. Briefcase full of bees. Hello. I love cross-stitch. Says, a briefcase full of bees. I agree. I've never done it, but I would love to. It seems like something, it seems like it would be such an enjoyable thing to do. Cross-stitch and also embroidery. I'm intimidated about getting into, which is really stupid. I think it would be really enjoyable. But I've been hand sewing a lot. Samantha says, hello, did I make it home just in time for the raid? Probably, honestly, my friend, probably gonna be ending pretty soon, but not yet. So hi, how are you? It's wonderful to see you, and welcome. Hello, hello, hello. I'm just trying to decide what I want to do with this little lump at the moment. Trying to decide what I want to do with this little lump here. Cross stitch is nice because there's a great embroidery I'm much shakier with, says Luna. That's fair. I have an embroidery idea that I've had for like, I don't know, probably like 3 years now. I have the thing that I want to embroider, and I've just been so intimidated about actually like sitting down and doing it. But it's specifically Hungarian style embroidery because my family's Hungarian and I love Hungarian style embroidery. There's a few different Hungarian style embroideries, but the one that I'm specifically thinking of doing is these, like the colorful floral motifs that are very famous. My grandmother has some beautiful embroideries in her house, and I'm just like, oh, I want to do that. Anyways, it non-binary day, says Samantha. It sure is. Happy International Non-Binary Day, everyone. Once again, to all of the beanies, all of the non-beanies in chat, and to everyone else, be nice to non-beanies. Today and every day, obviously. But I haven't had a chance to do new non-beanie art today, so I'm gonna make you look at this one again, if I can find how to show you there. Okay. Yeah, happy non-beanie day, everyone. Here's Dax. Anyways, I'll try and do some non-beanie art later this week. Because it is non-binary awareness week this week, and we love that. Anyway, so happy non-binary day to my non-binary friend. Thank you. And hello on a Monday to you. Anywho, I'm gonna sip my beverage. Or one of my beverages, at least. Ack, I tell you, I'm feeling what do with the rest of this piece. I mean, okay, so the trees back here are like this. I feel like the trees, if there were a tree sort of out in front here, it would be probably like that. So if there's a tree over here, it's like a tall boy. I don't know if I want to, I'm worried about what to do with the front. I don't want to steal focus by putting like just a giant tree here, but Luna says, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but obligatory NBs don't owe you androgyny from a rather femme NB. You're quite right too, Luna. Jadzia, my beloved old friend, says Samantha. Indeed, indeed, we love her so much. Wholeheartedly agree. There is that kind of there's that kind of like, oh, should I be do I need an asymmetrical haircut and to wear more dungarees? And the answer is no. Non-binary looks like whatever a non-binary person looks like. You don't have to dress a certain way to be non-binary. You can just be whatever you look like. If you are non-binary, that's what non-binary looks like. Yay! Even if you're dressed like an 18th century milkmaid or a hobbit or a clown who's also a grandpa. I am speaking autobiographically, because if you've seen how I dress, you know I look like a hobbit or an 18th century milkmaid or a clown who's also a grandpa. Anywho, that's mostly because I like wearing the baggy trousers that come all the way up to my waist, and it turns out they make me look kind of grandpa-y, I think. I just look like a grumpy old sphere. It's great. But, like a grumpy old sphere who got up to some weird stuff back in the 50s. They talk real evasively about it. But every once in a while they name drop someone and you're like, how do you know that person? That's me. That's my gender. Samantha says non-binary people are valid, even if not wearing dungarees. See, here's the thing. I feel like I would look really cute in dungarees, but just the frequency with which I have to take pee breaks makes me not want to wear a garment that I have to, like, remove the top portion of in order to go to the bathroom. So, so no dungarees for me, unfortunately. Luna says a vampire / witch / demon of some kind, also speaking from experience. Hell yeah, that's rad. Oh, excuse me. What the heck am I gonna do with the rest of this piece? What the heck am I going to do? I don't know. Heck. Maybe if I put some framing shrubbery over here, and then also some framing shrubbery over here, and then I put some... I do love dungarees, says Luna. But number 1, bathroom swings. Number 2, it's taken me 3 decades to start liking myself, and I'm really glad that you do, because you're great. And there are parts that I'd like to show off sometimes. That is very cool, and you should do that. Yeah, I'm not a big... I'm a big skirt person, actually. Like, as in my skirt is large. I like a big skirt. I like a big skirt petticoat situation, specifically made out of linen. Specifically, so when it's really hot out, I can kind of just, like, sort of waft my hips back and forth with my legs about, like, sort of a foot or 2 apart and get sort of a breeze going on my legs to cool my legs off. That is peak summertime goodness. It's just having the ability to create a breeze around your legs just by sort of like waving your skirt about by sort of moving. I'm trying to illustrate how to do it, except I'm sitting in a chair and you can't see me, so there's no point. I am very intelligent. But also I think I'm a very physical speaker in general, so... Make of that what you will. Skirts with pockets are so good too. Yes, 100% yes. I do also want to enter into the domain of making like old school style pockets, like 17th, 18th century style pockets, which were a separate item. That was this nice big pocket that ties around your waist that goes under your skirt, and then in place of having like a pocket that's built into the skirt, the side of the skirt just has like a slit, so you can just shove your hand through the slit at the side of the waistband of the skirt and get at the separate pocket that's inside. Because those pockets you can put a ton of stuff in those pockets without weighing down your skirt potentially. Because that's one thing that really bothers me about some garments that have pockets, is that like nominally there is pockets on this beautiful cotton dress that I bought from Toast, but if I put my phone in the pocket of that dress, it hangs super weird because it's structurally not built in a way that if I put something in the pocket, it's not just going to drag that side of the garment directly down. And that's a construction issue. It has pockets, but like in a nominal way that you can't actually put anything useful in them. It's not like having the pockets in a pair of like Jinko jeans where you can legit just apparently put everything you own in them and just walk around and be fine. Anyways, Luna says, when we were at St. David's, I was wearing my skirt with pockets, which is black with Halloween-y velour kind of patterns. I love it. And we just finished looking around the ruins of an old manor, and the guy working there was like, have you ever been to Whitby? I think you'd like it there. So I was clearly giving off that vibe. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, that is a very good Whitby vibe, to be fair. Delightful. I've never been to Whitby, but I would very much like to visit Whitby. I've been to Whitby, Ontario, because I have family who live there. But it's, it's a small city in the greater Toronto area, and not as interesting, I think, as a place to visit, unless you're specifically there to, like, spend a few hours with, like, your auntie. Which makes it a wonderful place to visit because, you love your auntie very much and she's a remarkable and wonderful lady. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, I've actually been thinking about Dracula lately because of reasons. And it got me dooting around Google Maps in Whitby the other day, and I was like, oh, this looks nice. I have no reason to go there, and it would take me a really long time to get there. But I'd really like to go there, because it looks like fun. So maybe someday I will visit Whitby. That would be a nice. Samantha says pockets are handy. I wholeheartedly agree. I love pockets. I love them with my whole heart. I'm making myself a skirt currently, and guess what? It's gonna have pockets. Of course it's gonna have pockets. I couldn't possibly... How could I make myself a skirt and not give myself pockets? Of course I'm gonna. Y'all, I think I need to ruminate on the future of this painting for a couple of days. It's feeling very incomplete. I need some, like, I feel like I need some, like, framing foregroundy elements. But I don't know what to put because I don't want to pull focus away from this little cottage and possibly some little guys who are walking back to the little cottage from wherever they've been. But I don't know what to do. I don't know what to put. So I think I'm going to pause that and come back to it next time and call it for today, because I've just seen the time and I really should probably start dinner soon. So that's going to be our painting for the day, and I hope that you like it. So far anyways. I think it's looking pretty cute. I'm starting to feel like, should this lump even be here? But I started with a lump, so we're going to have to finish with a lump. So I'll figure out what to do with the lump. But I'm going to send you in someone cool's direction in the meantime. I'm going to hope... Currently my teeth don't hurt. I hope my teeth continue to not hurt, because that sucked. Well, let's see who's live, so we can go say hello to... No, let me check in with chat first, because there's chat that I would like to read first. Because Luna says, my weird on-brand Whitby-related story is that I have a pair of earrings I got one year for my birthday, and they're silver, embroidered with Whitby Jet. Ooh, embedded, with Whitby Jet. That makes so much more sense. And cross-shaped, and no other silver ever causes issues, but they always hurt my ears. Ominous vampiric vibes. Oh my goodness. Were they... Did they buy them from, like, Van Helsing's jewelers or something? Because that's, wow. Okay, yeah, Whitby is where people from Pickering say they're from to seem less trash, says Lux. First of all, hello, Lux. Also, second of all, I was literally just telling chat that the only Whitby I've been to is Ontario, and it's a fairly remarkable place unless you're, like, there to visit your family. And in that case, you'll have a delightful time because your auntie is there and she's very cool and you love her very much. Anyways. But hi. We are just about to finish, but it's wonderful to see you. Hello. I do have concerns, says Luna. That is so creepy. I love it. I love it. That's so creepy. Amazing. Genuinely. But yeah, I hope that y'all have a continuingly excellent day and an excellent week. I have to give Canadian bullshit. And you know I appreciate the Canadian bullshit. You know I do. Right. I'm gonna see. What is this person doing? Are they just about to finish? Next question. That's always a good question is, are they just about to finish? Because I don't think I've rated this person in a wee while. So it might be nice to see what they're up to. Is the stream going to load? No. Twitch is... Oh, good. My Twitch is borked. Oh my goodness, they're working on a lot of stuff. Okay, yeah, let's say hi to Casey. Casey's drawing a whole bunch of cute little animals. So, we haven't rated Casey in a while. So let's do that. Anywho, my chest hurts and I need to go eat fish fingers. So I'm going to pop a generic raid message in the chat. I'm going to thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. And... being nice to my incessant futzing with this painting and not knowing what to do with it. Let's pop some ananas in the raid message. If you want to grab the raid message, you can do that. Feel free to grab the emotes. If you're subbed and you have the emotes, you can do that. If you don't have the emotes, you can just say generic raid message and append any cool emotes that you do have. We're gonna go see Casey, who's drawing a whole bunch of very, very cute little animals, having a lovely time. I hope. And I shall see you very soon, I hope. Have a wonderful week in the meantime. I will be back on Thursday. But just Samantha with the flip! Thank you! Thank you. Did you try to sneak that?
Oh hell yeah. Luna and Morticia just subscribed.
Oh my god, Samantha, thank you so much for gifting us up to Luna. Luna, enjoy your emotes and stuff. And to absolutely everyone else, thank you so much for watching. The stream is done, but thank you very much, Samantha. I will be back on Thursday. I will hope to see you again soon. Take care. Have a good week, everyone. Good night and good luck.